Yep, you read that title right. I know what it says, unless I changed it later, and I don't know. Anyway, that's right. Lying is not always a bad thing. A hot take, all right. I know what you're probably thinking, all right. But but Rubidium, aren't you supposed to be the pinnacle of morality and the paragon of everything a human being should be? Well, uh, no, stupid. I don't know why you'd think that. But anyway, so basically, you get told as a kid, well, lying is never okay. You should always tell the truth. And maybe they hit you with like a George Washington story about how he cut the cherry tree down and all that. And they're always like, well, honesty is the best thing. You should always be honest about everything. And most of the time, it's true. You don't want to be like a lying scumbag, like a politician or anybody you don't like, really, probably. But anyway, so, but sometimes it's alright. Like a mundane example, alright? Like you get home from work and it's been one of those days, you get you get pulled over in traffic on the way there and you get a ticket and it makes you late for work and you get yelled at by the boss and you get whatever it is you're doing for a job, all that dumped on you all at once. Have a rough day. If you work in customer service, my condolences, alright? It's a real shit day and you get back and you just want to get to bed, take a nap or whatever, and someone asks, well, how did your day go? And you're just like, oh, it's fine. And it's not fine. Technically, that's a lie, but it's alright because you don't want to talk about it. Or, like, another example, like, some people are planning a surprise party for someone, and you're in on it, and then that person whose party it is, they ask you, uh, well, are they planning a surprise party? And you say no. Well, obviously that's lying, but it's for a good reason, right? So, or like, you know, another relatable example. Let's say you and the rest of your SEAL team are launching an invasion of Kim Jong Un's palace, all right? And you get captured by the Russians, and they start interrogating you, all right, in their Siberian prison camp, and they try to get the information about Area 51 or some shit. Uh, Obviously, you're gonna tell them you don't know anything or some other nonsense. You're not gonna tell them that. So, that's lying for a good cause, I guess. Um, the reason I bring this up at all, though, in the first place is because resumes, alright? So, when you take a resume or you do a resume for a job, they ask you a bunch of questions, and some of them are a little weird, like, what race are you? Like, they'll have uh, black or white or Hispanic, or if they get real fancy, they'll start adding some ones you've never heard of. Um, but so, or they get that, or then they get the other one where it's like, have you been diagnosed with a psychotic disorder, some variation of that, which legally they're not allowed to ask you, or at the very least they have to put a prefer not to answer at the bottom, which I don't know why they'd ask that in the first place, I guess, but um, it's okay to lie about that. You know what? Granted, I don't think you should really lie about your race. It's going to be pretty hard to, fulfill that lie when you get to the job and they notice that, you're not actually black. You're actually, uh, a pasty white, borderline albino blonde guy. All right. They're probably going to figure that one out. All right. But, uh, they ask other personal stuff. Oh, have you been diagnosed with some disorder? That's none of your damn business. You don't need to know that. Like, and so you can lie about that. You can just say no. You can prefer not to answer. Some of them don't have that though. Or they just have the no. There's no prefer not to answer, which I'm confident is not legal, but they wipe their ass with labor laws, so it doesn't matter. It's okay to lie about that. The personality quiz after that some of these have, they'll ask you, would you rather help this customer with that or go help the employees with this? That really stupid shit. feel free to lie on it. You know what? You're morally obligated to lie about that one, alright? You don't just put, like, you don't put thought into it. They're like, do you consider yourself an extroverted person? I'm not, alright? I've got the personality of a cactus, alright? I would rather fillet myself than go hang out at a party. But you know what? By God, on that resume, I'm the most extroverted person on the planet. I'm at every party. I'm going outside. If I don't talk to another person within 1 hour, I'm going to shrivel up and die. That's what I'm putting on that resume, alright? So, uh, I'm not filling out resumes. This is just the only thing I could think about to talk about. But yeah, so, yeah. You know the drill. Subscribe or don't. I don't care. I made my dinner tonight. You know, high class, chicken dinner here. So, yeah. So, yeah.